What's up, everybody? It's your boy Q Hicks, and I'm here to give you another video on the NBA draft. Draft time is approaching, and I'm here to give you my mock draft. I watched a lot of college basketball film this season, and I'm excited to get this video out to you. This will only be for lottery picks, but if you want the rest of the first round, definitely comment down below. And if this is your first time on the channel, definitely hit that like and subscribe button. Now let's dive into it. With the number 1 pick, the Pistons select Cade Cunningham. Cade is the unanimous pick at number 1. He's been the best player since high school, and he even dominated the Big 12 to add on top of it. He's going to have a Luka-esque impact on the Pistons, and he doesn't have a lot of holes in his game. He can shoot threes, he can post up, he can pass, he can defend, and he can get to the rim at a high level. His handles have to improve, but he has the full package. I like his fit with Saddiq Bey, Jeremy Grant, and Killian Hayes, which is the Pistons' young core. And I think he puts Killian Hayes off the ball, which is his more natural position. This is an easy pick at number 1. Let's move on. With the number 2 pick, the Rockets select Evan Mobley. The draft really starts here, and the Rockets have a decision to make between Jalen Green and Evan Mobley. I think Mobley is the better fit with the team and has better two-way potential than Jalen Green. And I also like the idea of having two versatile bigs like Wood and Mobley at the 4 and the 5. Mobley has nice touch around the basket, he can shoot the 3, and is everything you would want in a modern day big. He's the most talented big man in this draft, and he also averaged 3 blocks a game in this college season. All he has to do is put on weight, and he can be a dominant presence early in his career. With the number 3 pick, the Cavs select Jalen Green. With reports of Colin Sexton being on the trade block, Green would be the best player available and is a better fit next to Darius Garland. He's a 3-level scorer, has great size at 6'6", a knack for getting to the basket, and he has a nice jumper. And he also has potential to be a good defender with his length. He really reminds me of Zach LaVine. Both are known as freak athletes but have more to their games. And he's going to be a great scorer in this league sooner than later. With the number 4 pick, the Raptors select Jalen Suggs. First thing I think about when it comes to Jalen Suggs is toughness, and that's one of the traits that you need as an NBA guard. And he really has all of the intangibles. He has leadership, toughness, and confidence. He has nice size, can shoot, and he also defends very well. He reminds me of a younger Jason Kidd that can shoot. He will be the replacement of Kyle Lowry, who will most likely leave in free agency, and he forms a nice backcourt with Van Vliet, and he will be the leader of a possible rebuild in Toronto. With the number 5 pick, the Magic select Jonathan Kuminga. Kuminga is somebody who is just scratching the surface with his potential, but he has an NBA body and he is a solid finisher around the basket. He is a great versatile defender who can guard 1 through 4, so that will help him ease into the NBA, but his shooting and shot selection must improve. He really reminds me of OG Anunoby, with the NBA body, but was raw. You see how Anunoby has improved over the years? That will be something similar for Kuminga as well. But he fits in well with the defensive-minded Magic team with Fultz, Isaac, and Bamba. With the number 6 pick, the Thunder select Scottie Barnes. Barnes is the definition of a point forward. He really surprised me this year with his playmaking ability, playing point for FSU for most of the season, averaging 4 assists. He's really a more athletic Draymond. He's a strong defender who can guard 1 through 5 in the league. He's still raw on the offensive side of the ball, but I think his shooting will come. But he thrives in the open court, and he has the intangibles of a winner. And he can easily be the best player in this draft if everything comes together. Trade alert! The trade is Bradley Beal has been sent to the Warriors for a package of James Wiseman, Jordan Poole, Andrew Wiggins, and pick 7, 14, and a future first-round pick. So everybody knows that Bradley Beal is loyal and he does not want to leave Washington. But I think there is a scenario where he could want to. Westbrook is upset about Scott Brooks being fired, so that could lead to Westbrook requesting a trade from the Wizards. Whatever you get for Westbrook won't be enough to win with Bradley Beal. Bradley Beal could be looking for a new home in that case since he wouldn't have an all-star running mate. In comes Golden State with a blockbuster package. Can you say no if you're the Wizards? Wiseman is a good starting point for a rebuild. And from the Warriors' perspective, Beal could form a lethal splash trio and can have a similar effect to what KD had on the Warriors. Obviously, he's not KD, but he's a top 2 scorer in the league. He could also be insurance in case Clay doesn't return to All-Star form as soon as expected. Back to the draft, and with the number 7 pick, the Wizards select James Bouknight. Bouknight is one of my favorite prospects in the draft just because of how crafty he is with the basketball. He's an athletic combo guard who can score the ball in a variety of ways and a for sure 3-level scorer and can really break you down one-on-one. He thrives at attacking the rim, shooting, and working off the ball, and is a solid defender. His shot selection needs to be improved, but he has the tools to be a Bradley Beal scoring replacement for this young Wizard squad. With the number 8 pick, the Magic select Davion Mitchell. He is the best 3-and-D player in this draft, and even though he is 6'1", he can play with or without the ball in his hands. He is a good playmaker and can really break you down in ISO situations with his tight handle. The Magic desperately need shooting, and Mitchell shot 44% from the 3 last year and can be a 3-level scorer. But his best attribute is defense. In that department, he is elite and will give opposing teams headaches with his Pat Bev-like tenacity he locked up in every game last season. With the number 9 pick, the Kings select Jalen Johnson. With Marvin Bagley clearly wanting to leave the Kings and Harrison Barnes most likely being on the trade block, the Kings will have a need at the 4. Jalen Johnson will fit the bill. Johnson is versatile and has a set of all-around skills, and he thrives in scoring in transition as well as in the post. He is a solid defender who can guard multiple positions. He needs to work on his jump shot. He shot a solid percentage from 3 this year, but at times looked reluctant to shoot. But he can grow with this young Kings team, and he will be a nice role man for Fox and Halliburton. With the number 10 pick, the Pelicans select Corey Kispert. This is a pretty simple pick. The Pelicans are one of the worst 3-point shooting teams in the NBA, so they need more shooting. And Kispert is the best shooter in the NBA draft. He draws a lot of comparisons to Joe Harris. He can knock down shots in a variety of ways and is a solid defender when guarding bigger wings. He's not really a shot creator, but if he's playing with Zion Williamson and Brandon Ingram, he's going to have a lot of open looks, so I wouldn't worry about that too much. With the number 11 pick, the Hornets select Keon Johnson. Johnson may be the best athlete in this draft. His explosiveness, speed, and quickness make him tough to stop in transition. But those traits really translate to the defensive end, which is going to be his calling card coming into the league. He's tough, and at 6'5", he can be locked down on the perimeter. His offensive skills are really raw. He can attack the rim, but the shot leaves a lot to be desired. But with Terry Rozier on the trade block and the Hornets open to trading Gordon Hayward, Charlotte could look for a defensive-minded running mate to go alongside LaMelo. With the number 12 pick, the Spurs select Kai Jones. Kai Jones is one of the players that really rose throughout the season, making more and more plays. He makes plays above the rim, he's super quick, can make plays off the dribble, and has the ability to stretch the floor. He's an excellent shot blocker and has the versatility to guard smaller players, which continues to boost him up draft boards. He just needs time to hone his skills, and the Spurs are the perfect match. The Spurs have a lot of young guards and wings, but they need more freak athletes at the 4 or the 5, like Kai Jones, that they can develop. With the number 13 pick, the Pacers select Moses Moody. Moody is one of the best shooters in the draft and held his preseason spot among lottery picks this season. He is one of the best 3-and-D wings of this draft with solid size at 6'6", but he's more than a catch and shoot player. He makes plays in transition, can score in the lane, and has a solid mid-range game. He fits in any system, but he lands with the Pacers, who could lose Doug McDermott in free agency, so he could form a solid wing duo with Karis LeVert. With the number 14 pick, the Wizards select Josh Giddey. Giddey is a 6'8" point guard from the NBL in Australia who reminds me of a bigger Rubio and gives you flashes of LaMelo Ball with his great court vision. He knows how to control the pace and never seems to be rushed. He can score in the lane with floaters and runners. He does need to improve his jumper, but it's not broken. He shot 30% from 3 during the NBL season. He just has to speed up the release. His defense remains an unknown at this point. He might be too slow for the NBA point guard, but he's still a solid defender knowing how to step in the passing lanes. He's only 18, so he's one of the youngest players in this draft, so he does have a lot of time to grow. So those are the lottery picks, but I just want you guys to look over the Wizards roster if they were to make this Beal trade that was proposed. They would have James Wiseman, Andrew Wiggins, Jordan Poole, James Bouknight, Josh Giddey, a future first, the 15th pick in this year's draft. They will have Rui Hachimura and Denny Avdia from last season's draft. That's a lot of talent in Washington if you were to give up a Beal. I'm just saying, it looks very promising. I just want to thank you guys for watching. If you got all the way to the end, I really rock with you. If this is your first time on the channel, definitely hit that like and subscribe button. Follow me on Twitter and definitely let me know what you would like to see next. Like I said before, if you want the rest of the first round, definitely comment down below. Also, I would love for you guys to check out my sports and entertainment podcast, the Q&E podcast. We review movie and TV shows as well, so definitely check us out. Or on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. Links in the description. And we out.